What's up, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. Please come into this tarot reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to maybe learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, that's totally fine. Feel free to push them aside. They might resonate for you at a later time or date. Always best to trust your own intuition above all else, because ultimately you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right, you know the drill, guys. But for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy to have you. That's my general spiel. Let's go ahead and set the intention to get Aquarius out there watching. Some clear, helpful, and insightful messages, please, for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right. Let's do it. So, center of your spread, the High Priestess. What a badass card to have at the center of your spread, Aquarius. I'm already loving it. So that's present energy. In the past, you have the Four of Wands. That's an excellent card for celebrations, establishing some sort of solid foundation, particularly in a group dynamic. Could also be in some sort of coupling, in some sort of partnership. It's like magical forces coming together. And then ultimately either the future or the goal is Ten of Pentacles. Wow. So it's almost like taking something from what has already been established as a solid foundation, a good network, a good group of people, a good community. It could be a good group of, coworkers, friends. I don't know. It's not really speaking to me too much about like romantic one-on-one partnership, but it could have to do with a family dynamic. It's like we're trying to bring that to the next level and really sort of embrace the quality it brings to our life, how it ups the quality in our life, how it brings a lot of value, because Ten of Pentacles is also an excellent like family card. So, friends of the family you choose, but taking some sort of group or community, or I'm hearing the word coven. And then, I don't know, with the High Priestess, it's almost like trying to manifest together in order to accomplish some sort of shared goal that it likely has to do with wanting to achieve more money or branch out further, like spread your message wider. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but all right. So what is Aquarius currently feeling? What's going on in the feeling sector? Justice. So this is like, it's funny. I'm almost getting the idea of like wanting to have faith and sort of talking yourself through, if there is turbulent energy, trying to, be on the side of reason and patience. That's very like Libra energy, justice. We have the scales, right? We have to keep ourselves in check, in harmony, right? We have to remain internally balanced and have faith that even as we move through chaos, things are in alignment, things are in order, the universe is looking out for us. So you have like this very positive mindset, but at the same time, there's a tiny part of you that isn't trusting. You're like, but I'm going to get what I want, right? Or maybe that's not the way of phrasing it. It's like, I'm just going to give it to God, but also I'm also very agitated and nervous about this. There's kind of like a little conundrum that you're experiencing, at least in the mental sector. And that kind of makes sense too. I mean, our mind, our brain, our mental energy, so to say, that's Mercury ruled. Mercury is about to go retrograde. And not only that, the Mercury signs, if you will, Gemini and Virgo, which we all have in our chart, it's opposed by Jupiterian signs, so Jupiter-ruled signs like Pisces and Sagittarius. And I think that's important to note because it's like the logical, everyday, data, details, organization, logic, that sort of thing. It's quite literally opposed by planets that stand for faith and spirituality and a higher power. So sometimes our mind does want to talk us out of having faith, or talk us out of sort of like, Mercury loves the everyday kind of like nitty gritty facts and details and data, but sometimes it's about the wider picture. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So it's like that wider viewpoint, being able to see the forest from the trees and understanding that there is a higher purpose and there is a larger narrative that is guiding this or these people or whatever is going on in your life right now. Ultimately, what I'm saying is keep leaning into your faith. I think that's a good approach right now. Some of you might be thinking about studying, or you might be literally in the thick of it, in the process of undertaking some sort of project that is expanding your mind in some capacity. Maybe it's psychology, maybe it's more philosophy. Quite literally a law book is being shown here. So you may be doing a lot of writing or reading about rules and regulations. You may be establishing those in some sort of group or community. That's so funny. Aquarius. Yeah, anyway. Every now and then you say something, you're like, oh shit, I know someone doing that. It's just like, okay, confirmation, cool, moving on. I'm never trying to impart my own narratives on this, though, by any means. That's so not what I'm about. But I know an Aquarius who's literally writing out like a kind of a law book right now. So it makes me laugh. That's funny. Okay, so what are you feeling? Four of Swords. So interesting. It's like Four of Swords is typically a card of mental rest and relaxation and peace. And so part of me is like, you're actually, I don't know, I kind of want to say feeling in the flow of things, but I almost think too that you're wanting things to move along quicker than they are. And so there's almost a state of numb, N-U-M-B. That's sort of what I'm getting. It's like, maybe even a little bit of boredom, like you're eager for things to progress forward and move. And ironically, in Aries season, I would imagine that you've noticed a shift between like the Pisces stuff and the Aries, but maybe you have personal planets in some of those too. It's like we're invigorated from some sort of success in our past where it felt like we really gained momentum, but then it's come to like a screeching halt, or something I'm hearing the word, it's been broken down. So I think you're trying to be patient, and I think you're doing a really good job too. I want to say that. If anything, the universe is just saying, hey, like, we know you still got a little bit of like self-doubt or doubt about the process, and really like the universe, to me, it's like, trust the process with this High Priestess energy. You're very attuned right now. You're very aware. You're very psychically connected to sort of what's going on in the ethers, what's going on underneath the surface. So like you're feeling sector, so to say, it's like that's your best compass right now. Again, it's not the Mercury logic, data, facts, details, things you read in a book. You can do that, add those tools to your tool belt. It's going to make you stronger or whatever. But ultimately, there is a trust in sort of the things that you can't see, and sort of the feeling, and really like the intuition. That's what's coming through here. So I sense that you're trying to keep your emotions at bay. You're trying to not get riled up or emotionally attached to any fixed outcome. I think you see huge potential in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or bring together here. It brings you peace of mind to think about that and to put yourself in the headspace of, what would it feel like if we accomplished this, or if we grew this or did that. I think you're very excited about the potential of possibilities here, but I think you're also a little bit confused why it isn't moving in the pace that you thought it would. And I'm going to be honest with you, Aquarius, I don't have all the solutions for you, but what I can tell you is like, you're good. This is going to be fine. You have to trust the process, and more importantly, you have to trust the timeline. Typically as a Saturn-ruled sign, I think there's certainly a capacity in you to be very patient and to know that good things take time, Overnight success is wonderful, but not if it burns out quickly. Do you know what I mean? That fire energy versus sort of like maybe of Aries season versus like maybe the watery energy of, I don't know, Pisces. It's like, we can't fight the ocean, right? Or we can, but we're going to exhaust ourselves. So we may as well sort of surrender and embrace to wherever the universe is trying to take this. We still have to show up and be active and participate. But I think there's an understanding with the High Priestess that you're not in control of all this. There's a lot of people involved for some of you, but also there's like a higher power involved that is guiding this. So what is supporting you immediately that is going to be of use to you? Yeah, your wish fulfillment. Keep your eyes on the prize, and you have no reason to edit or change or sacrifice what it is that you really want in terms of how it's going to make you feel. The feeling is what we're trying to achieve here, whereas sort of the specifications and the sort of, I wanted to say like exactitude of how it manifests, you may have to be a little bit more flexible on. But yeah, the ultimate wish and goal, I think you have the universe's blessing. It's like you're free to proceed forward with this. Just know that it truly is a collaboration between you and the universe. But I think this is saying don't give up hope. Again, like retreating back to that finding internal peace is what's going to help you through this process where it might be a little bit, I'm just getting like agitated energy. It's like wanting to gain momentum and move forward, but feeling like you're reaching a lot of obstacles or blockages. Those will clear up in time. I don't necessarily think you're going to have to bust down doors or knock down walls to make this happen. Ironically, some of you, as I said that, you might literally be doing construction work for one or two of you or something about that, especially in terms of land and property or moving into into a new space or something like that. Yeah, all is right in the universe. The help immediately available to you is the Nine of Cups. Remember why you got started in this in the first place, and the feelings of joy and hope and elation and potential and possibility associated with that first sort of magnetic connection and spark you made. I will say this is not an independent journey for most of you. Someone else is right there beside you, with you, experiencing the highs and the lows right alongside you. So power in numbers, you have a good little support system here, so make sure you take advantage of that. Maybe some of you are missing a connection too. I could see that as well. I don't know, for some reason there might be a small hiccup or break or severing off of a friendship, not due to bad blood. I want to be clear, due to other opportunities that came about, or again, unforeseen or unexpected challenges or obstacles. Some of you, it's like you're missing your quote unquote work wife or work husband, or your buddy, your co-pilot, the goose to your maverick, if you will. They still seem to be in your life, maybe on the exterior, but yeah, this could have been like a best friend that left a job and now it's like they're not right there beside you. But still, that being said, there are other people in this reading that are helping to support and guide you. Honestly, your faith is going to be a huge blessing to you too, in terms of getting through difficult times of hardship or adversity. And also remembering to practice good self-love. I sort of see this as a step, a helpful step, a step up, like the rungs of a ladder in terms to getting to your goal. If your goal is the Ten of Pentacles, some of you, maybe you want to spend more time at home, more time with family. Maybe you want to increase your funds. Maybe you want to move to a bigger property. Maybe you want to impact the world in a big way. This can be the idea of leaving a good legacy behind. Your heart, again, your intuition is guiding you, and you have to listen to what your heart is telling you. If it's something that fills you with joy and happiness and elation, then your best bet is to move towards it. And again, if one road seems blocked or obstacles present, maybe the universe is trying to re-navigate you or reroute you to go down a different path. It doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It's just, there's a need to be patient and to be open to, I would say, fun and magical surprises too with the High Priestess. So, actions you need to take. The Eight of Cups. If it's not satisfying you, if it's not bringing you joy, if you're in connections or partnerships that are always taking away from you and not building you up or empowering you, you might need to cut them off or sever ties or move away. And if it doesn't have to do with negative people or environments, it might just be sort of not settling. It's like reaching higher to achieve what you want. It's almost like the action of walking away from the Eight of Cups, you're going to the Nine. But what's interesting, and the Nine of Cups is like the quote unquote wish fulfillment card, emotional satisfaction, emotionally independent, if you will. Eight of Cups, you're going to the Nine. That's your action or advice. You need to move on from stagnant emotions or things not moving or things not being in the flow of positivity. Ultimately, though, Nine of Cups is showing up in what's immediately available to you. So that's the thing. You can choose to control your emotions. And I know it's hard to hear when you're going through a difficult time, but it doesn't make it not true, which is that happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. And for a lot of you, maybe it's leaning into gratitude. I think a lot of you excel at that anyway. But everybody needs a gentle reminder sometimes too. It's especially when life gets tough, that's an even better time to really recognize all the blessings that you do have in your life. You appreciate them more, right? But yeah, it's you're embarking on a new-ish journey. But actually, I'm going to take that back. It's not new. It's continuing the narrative elsewhere, or maybe with a new cast of characters. I could see that as well too. You have people bookending this, but right in the middle, there's I'm hearing lonesome or lonely. So I don't know if there was a breaking off or a branching out where you acquired some role or opportunity to be more independent. But I think it's very important for all air signs, not just Aquarius. You have to have those links. You have to have those connections, because by default, the air sign, the swords, right? It's conversing. It's back and forth. It's hard to play tennis by yourself, right? So with that, maybe it's I don't know if you guys have recently moved or taken on a new job or I'm not sure what it is, but do you have a community of people? Do you have a group? Where is your tribe? For some of you, they're still on social media. For some of you, they're still a phone call away. But it's almost like finding it out in the real world too, especially in terms of finding a spiritual group with the high priestess. It's funny, I jokingly said like finding your coven, but for some of you, that's an absolute truth. It's like finding people who practice what you practice. So you're being asked to move through your fear. If the Eight of Cups is the suggested action card or guidance, what's going to help you to, again, get to your long-term goal here is the moon. And the moon, to me, with the Eight of Cups, it's all about facing our fears. There's the acknowledgement of, I'm hearing the word complacency. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it wanted to be spoken, so there we go, I did it. But with the Eight of Cups, it's almost like where there has been restrictions or limitations on what we think we're able to achieve, almost from an emotional perspective, it's almost like the universe is asking you to reach a little higher, to think a little bigger. Again, that Jupiter expansion energy. Sometimes the Eight of Cups can be a false sense of comfort, especially in the emotional or creative or spiritual sense. Something is expanding. Something is getting bigger. There's actually a lot more out there than you realize. And no offense, but it almost may have to do with a more narrow-minded perspective on what has happened and where you're currently at. Just because you're not experiencing that growth and elation now doesn't mean it's not out there. And the thing is, like, you know it is, but this Justice card to me, the way you're kind of like peeking behind the blindfold, it's like, I trust the universe, but only sometimes. Like are they really going to deliver? If I put all this work and effort, is the universe going to take care of me? I don't know, eights are all about liberation in tarot, and I think it's liberation from your limited belief or what you believe was a limited capacity to receive love or get love, or even in terms of money, what you're able to acquire because of your own maybe limited beliefs about your own self-worth or value or achievements or what you bring to the table. I think the universe is busting you free from like a lack mindset or a lack mentality. Or just, you know, maybe it's not mentality. Maybe you want more and you know you deserve more, but maybe you're in a circumstance or a situation at a job with a group of people where it might be a tapped resource. And so moving through that fear of growing and expanding, even if it means having to leave your tribe behind, it's not to say you can't still love them and you can't still visit them and be with them and, you know, Skype them or whatever. But it's almost like you have a bigger mission. I'm hearing like we have bigger fish to fry right now. I love this card because it's like the black cat who, when they look at their reflection, they see themselves as the panther. It's like this mighty jungle cat. And again, being asked to lean into like your own confidence and your own power, your ability to deal with adversity, you're stronger than you know. You are much stronger than you realize, Aquarius. There's also a Libra showing up as a spirit guide who's saying, you got this, I believe in you. It might be an ancestor, it might be a grandmother, it could be a parental figure. There's a Libra showing up saying, I'm here with you. I'm watching you. I'm going to catch you if you fall. Some of you will know who that is. Some of you might not. That's okay. It's a heavenly divine energy. It's a good energy. It's a light energy watching over you. And they're sending you signs and messages. Butterflies, particularly. All right, so your oracle card here is key, opportunity. So some of you, there might be a big move in your future, or you may be in the process of finding your footing again after a major move, particularly moving into a new home, a new location. You know, maybe this is symbolic of new keys to your office. It's like there's a world of possibility here, but because it's new, you don't have that immediate comfort zone. You don't have that immediate fallback or system of people that, you know, there's instant familiarity and history and connections and sort of like this unspoken language. I think you're working to establish that in some sort of new environment for some of you. Others of you, it's just literally the idea of opportunities are being presented, so look out for them and be open to them. Card number 17 is the Star. So you have so many messages saying, don't give up on your dreams and wishes. That's not what these obstacles are about. They're definitely to teach you something, but maybe it's to teach you patience. Maybe it's to teach you, the power of faith or something of the sort. But it's saying this is not about giving up on your dreams or wishes. Not at all. Not at all. Emotions, okay. So emotions may be playing a large factor in this, and I think we already know that too. Again, the feelings associated with your happily ever after or your fairy tale ending, that should be used as a guiding compass or a source of inspiration and motivation as you move forward. Something about this is speaking very strongly about Leo and Sagittarius energy, as well as maybe Pisces. That may have to do with romantic partnership for some of you. And then a character who might be playing a role in this. This says young, vitality, innovative, potential, and growth. So there's something here about maybe adopting a more like childlike mindset in terms of like seeing the world full of possibility. For some of you, it's like the universe is speaking to you through your kids, and you wouldn't necessarily think to know it, but it's like there's something of value that they're saying that like they don't even know what they're saying, but it's a message that you needed to hear. Listen to your kids, listen in general, lean in closer. The messages are there. It's more obvious than you think, but you have to take the time to listen. Also, the idea of being young and fresh and new in some sort of circumstance, that's sort of untainted. It's pure and it's innocent, though it provokes a lot of fear because it is so different. Faith over fear, for one thing. But there's something advantageous about being new because you ask the best questions. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to leave you with that. That seems very significant. That could be someone's last name too, Young. I'm just putting it out there. All right, Aquarius, thanks for joining me today. Please like the video, guys. I would really appreciate it. If you want to leave a comment or subscribe to the channel, any of that is welcomed and encouraged. If you want more content from me, I am on Instagram and Facebook as The Intuitive Teacup. But definitely join me here again on YouTube for weekly tarot readings, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post in the future. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, Aquarius.